Hello once again and welcome back, my friends. I'm Hambbage and we're about to start some more hardcore vanilla Minecraft. Glad to have you here. Hope we can have a real entertaining session today. Let's get this title screen out of the way and get to business. Age of Wonders is better. I think I may have actually had that game or have that game. I think I got it through Steam. Um, if it's the game I'm thinking of, never really super hit me. Um, if it's the one I'm thinking of. All right, here we are back, loading up our world. For anyone who's been chasing the content a little bit, I have started up a little bit of a variety stream. Um, Did I put the fortune pick downstairs? I think I may have. Extra shulker box there. Let's put everything away. We need to start off with a bit of repairing. Anyway, to kind of catch back up here, yesterday started the day with some Minecraft, and then recorded a few episodes of a game that I've always enjoyed, a roguelike, which is a kind of dungeon crawler type game. And that particular title is Dungeons of Dreadmore. Game I'd first discovered earlier this year and played through a little bit. Certainly never completed it. It's a roguelike, so it's challenging. You have permadeath, which appeals to the hardcore sensibilities that I have. But yeah, it's a good one if anybody's interested, and I hope if you're looking for some variety in content, you might check out the the videos. I did kind of start at saying and introduced in that content that might be a way to kind of bridge an early gap on. Wow, that didn't do much at all for this shovel. Come on, Cole. What are you doing for me here? Anyway, we'll just keep going. We got lots of nether quartz we can use as well, so I need a little backstop guide. How far can I go before I get into trouble? I see my shovel shifting there every once in a while, but it's got a lot of repair to do. We need the coal though. This is no problem. In our last episode, we gathered a bunch of sand and then kind of did a walk around on the base, kind of highlighting a little bit more what we'd like to do in terms of expanding our fortress. And I'm not gonna dwell on that too much more here, where we've talked about it. But as I was kind of thinking through, where we're at, what our next or our path to progression is, I was thinking that we really want to. We've got a series of dependencies here that are really coming back towards building the base. I've talked a few times that there's a biome remaining we haven't yet discovered. There's a couple of them, but there's a particular biome we're looking for in the overworld, a pair of them that have some resource types that I'd really like to incorporate into the build. And the best way to find those, of course, is to fly around and use the wings that we've now gotten. But for one thing, we goofed. badly. I didn't understand the mechanic of crafting by recipe, and so I shift created as many rockets as I could, and it didn't reallocate my my gunpowder, or even give the option to switch. If it would have just stopped, it would have been good. I could have reallocated everything, but instead I ended up making a bunch of lower tier rockets as well. And that's one possibility, I guess. That I maybe shouldn't just discount is, do we use the weaker rockets? I don't think I got rid of them. I don't actually know where I put them. They may be in the gunpowder box with the TNT, actually. And that could extend it a little bit, but we don't have a full stack of either. And what I really don't want to do is get... okay, at least if we don't hang out, we can go right through. Okay, this should help speed up our repair. We're going to get a lot more XP out of the quartz. Come on, little shovel. So yeah, I'd like to ratchet up our gunpowder XP. But, as I've talked about, a darkroom spawner is a good way to do that for me. We'll configure it such that we're only trying to get creepers, and that will help our gunpowder availability. But when I make the darkroom spawner, I'd really like to use the same color scheme. So I still kind of want to get to the point where I'm already pulling some of those resources first. And this may not solve it, but what I've kind of got in mind for a next step, and whether it's all in this episode or spreads out over a couple, my idea or thought is that we're going to go out to where we got our end stronghold here in the overworld, the one that we've linked through the nether. So quick little run over there, but instead of going into the end, we will switch back and go into the overworld. Just climb up the ladder that we built, and then continue to explore to the east. It's kind of the closest accessible unexplored terrain. So that's kind of the plan for the moment, is to go have an overworld adventure. We've got great tools and weapons and everything now, and kind of go off in that direction and see what trouble we can get into, what fun we can have. And yeah, see if we can just stumble across a cool biome. We'll use our shulker boxes to carry some good resources, so we don't, have to turn back too quickly, and see what we can see. But no guarantee. We may still have to just bite the bullet eventually, but you don't succeed if you don't try. So let's at least give it a shot. See what we can come up with out there. Maybe we'll just find other cool stuff while we're out and about. But yeah, kind of just a lightweight travel light and fast and explore. We'll bring boats in case we run into more oceans, and can kind of press on as we had in previous explorations. But do, a final, maybe a final, but a non-flight exploration where we're just kind of roving over the land. And maybe maybe... Oh, I didn't even know we had one more stack here. Oh, man, I haven't even been paying attention. Bummer. That might have been a big waste. Although I don't think we gained a whole lot of levels. So I don't think we've wasted too much here. Hopefully this'll get our pick back to pretty full as well. Alright, that should be enough to split. And look at it jump back. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, it's not moving at all. So that's the plan. Just need to get these tools set up, and we may, depending on how that goes or what we end up with, we may, we may use some of the sandstone that we've got to kind of lay out foundations. I don't want to have to build everything and then root back down when we have more variety of building materials. So that's the thoughts. Block quartz. Stock up on these. Alright, that's all we had. I think we put these over here, actually. We moved them. There we go. So, got a lot of quartz to build with if we'd like. And we, okay, we missed a little bit. We might have gotten that fully restored, but we're in good shape for tools now. Let's run back upstairs. Let's see where we're at for torches. Top off our couple of supplies here, and then we'll be off. Hey, Salty, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, no, I played a different game for a couple of days, but not even a couple of days, just like a day and a half. Half a day? Day? I don't know. It's yesterday morning, and now it's stupid Enderman. Now it's evening, late afternoon, evening of the following day. So a little disconnect, just a bit of discombobulation as we what was that all about? As we kind of get our bearings back about us. I guess we don't even need to make torches. Let's just top off. I would imagine we have plenty still in the ender chest. So we'd set up a box for potions. This is our firework rockets, and I think we just took the 3s. Sorry, this is, I should have grabbed these while I was down there, but, oh well. So yeah, we're hoping, find a biome, grab some more, cool stuff. If we do find that biome, loads of adventure there, and we'll probably set up some kind of a vacation spot type, type base that we can link up for easy access. There's the shoot. That's not good. What? Maybe upstairs, and I guess I should have checked all these chests first, but I was really pretty sure I put it in the gunpowder box. 2 more chest chances. Here. No. Not in there. Here. Yep. So these are shorter. We'll use them much more quickly as we fly, but we may as well carry both, and at least on the way back, if we're okay, that's my fortune pick. I really should leave that to put this back in here. What else do we need? Let's top off everything, because we're going to actually go through the basement anyway. So we'll leave the fortune pick. Try to remember to. We've got extra torches. We've got a spare bed. We don't have boats. Don't have boats there. Time to get some more logs. Any short stacks? How about birch? Hey, S'more, how you doing? I hear you out there. 8 boats. Lots of boats. Let's put a couple back in here just to have available. Do we have a bucket of water in here, or did we just switch? Yep, got one there. Let's put a couple boats. Hey, S'more. I wanted that was why I really came out. I wanted to just say hi to you. Do we have an extra chest? I'd like to just make a boat box so we have a stock of them. No extra chests, but we. I was like, what did I do? Guava. I heard that, by the way. Not cool. Seems like we're always making like, oh yeah, let's have a whole bunch of chests, and then we use them up. All right, let's make just a boat box. Boat box. We'll carry 2. Leave 3 there. A couple in the chest. All right, S'more, you be good. You're on creeper watch. Gotta go give the bird a talking to here. Guava. No more like creeper sizzle. We don't like it. All right, well, guava jelly gang for life. All right, we are set. We've wasted enough time. Let's get after it. So here we go. Down the stairs, we're going to go through the portal as if we're going to the end, and then we will climb up and kind of begin our overland adventure from there. Go. Rounding down the stairs. Do a little jump running. So yeah, it was a little bit more of the using up of the XP bank we'd earned in here in the Nether by harvesting all that Nether quartz, but there's loads of it around. And the other piece is we're intermixed with all this building planning that we're doing. We also want to still daylight now. We also want to look at getting back into the Nether and going deep in the Nether for resource production there too. So lots of stuff going on. Hi, Llama. All right, I believe this is east. Yep. I believe we also have noted the coordinates, but I haven't looked at our chords. End stronghold stairs. Okay, so I did make an overland coordinates. At least it'll get me to the stairs, and from if we can get back here, we can find the ladder. So here we go. We're just gonna head off into the great unknown. Maybe a little bit of a lean to the south as we go. We got berries back at home, so I don't think we need to bother picking any up there. And just because we've kind of already gone out towards the jungle north of here, and I think we've got loads of room between all those, but we want the new stuff. Now, sun's pretty much still overhead, so we should be able to get quite a ways. We got lots of food. Don't mind running. Oh, it's good to be back. I've had a blast playing some Dreadmore for you guys. I hope you're enjoying it. But it's funny how when you're in other games, you kind of feel like you're on vacation. We just want to get back home. It's good to be back again. The colors, the sights, the sounds, the cows. Hey, cow. Of a Minecraft world. and particularly our Minecraft world. Um, Really good to be back around. Um, so yeah, I was definitely thinking of this playthrough just in the downtime, and uh, undoubtedly, Netherite is a need. We want to get working on Netherite, and that can kind of be as endless a pursuit as anything in the game, really. How many how many diamond tools do you have that need to be Netherited? Um, but it too can get to be a little grindy, even though it's a perilous grind. A fairly perilous grind. You can mitigate all that danger to an extent, and there's lots of ways to approach it. I know, and I really started uh, using quite a bit of TNT in my pursuit of netherite, and there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people are all about first duping and then using TNT. I'm not a duper. For me, that kind of ruins the experience of hardcore vanilla Minecraft, which says you aren't given anything, you've got to produce. And yeah, you can use the game to force it to duplicate things, but that's not that's not my spirit of how hardcore vanilla works. And even then, once we get our uh, our creepers fallen out of the darkroom spawner, we'll be uh, we'll be well set to make as much not as easily and as much as excuse the hiccups as if you just duped it, but stacks and stacks and stacks. And I've really found I can get faster yield not using it. And it'll be fun to kind of show that, and we can hope if we find the right area, we can set it up and hopefully have pretty good success pulling out some of the ancient debris that we'll need to make netherite. Well, that mountain's kind of like a sphinxy shape, something head-like sticking up out of the ground. Um, so this was kind of just fun. After I'd kind of done my play and recording of the start of Dreadmore, I was just curious. I discovered the game either, and I said a lot of this, either at the end of this past year or the beginning of this year, sometime over the kind of wintry time, and I had just discovered it from one of my enjoyed content creators who had a years old playthrough of it, and the game itself is like 10 years old. I think it got a couple of expansions years back as well. I don't think there's anything active going on with it. Maybe some new mods here or there or something, but kind of consider it an idle an idle game, which is fine. There's lots of games, right? It is what it is, and I absolutely love it. It's lighthearted, like all the descriptions and the dialogues and all that kind of stuff are so lighthearted and kind of tongue-in-cheek that they're just loads and loads of references across culture and gaming and all that kind of stuff. And then it's still got just kind of, as opposed to Minecraft where you do want to balance out your building and your resource gathering and all that kind of stuff in any dungeon crawler, you're basically just trying to fight your way through it and grab loot and equip as well as you can to keep from dying as you go deeper and deeper and deeper. Um, but I was just kind of curious after I'd started. I was like, I wonder if anybody else is doing anything similar. I've looked a couple times on um, like Twitch and seen, if you search on the game, you can, effectively look for a channel, but I haven't ever seen activity in it, even foreign language or anything like that. So, which again, knowing the game itself, I expect there was never a whole lot of translation done, and it would be very playable in a different language, but it wouldn't have quite the same comic appeal if you didn't have the comments, and they would be tough to translate and have a real impact. So I think outside of the English speaking countries, it would have a pretty limited audience. Um, but yeah, I saw there were a few going that were updated. One or two seemed like maybe I don't know, if it was intentional or if it's something that can happen, but it looked like, a couple of the playlists that were like updated within a day, or a couple days had actually been set over to other stuff. It was like just random content, and the last actual play was weeks or months ago. But yeah, still got an interested fan base out there. There's people that have enjoyed it, and roguelikes as a game style can be very maddeningly frustrating, and it's a thing that you know the same affinity you have for hardcore Minecraft applies to roguelikes in the extreme, because you're constantly trying to um, reach new depths in a dungeon. There was as I know, and I never played it, never saw it. I haven't seen any content on it, but apparently way back in the day there was a game called Rogue, and it was a dungeon crawler where you just went infinitely deeper into a dungeon. I don't know if it was capped on levels or not, or any of that kind of stuff, but you just kind of had these endless layers of dungeon, and if you die, that's it. You don't get multiple game saves. You can quit the game and leave and come back to the point where you were at, but you can't go back beyond that. And if you die, poof, that game is gone. You won't, in your game saves list, you won't see any more access to it. So, um, for a certain type of player, me, that's awesome. Just love it. For others, though, it's quite frustrating, and it's also by that very nature. I think we've seen donkeys, but hi, donkey. Um, I know we've seen sunflowers at some point. It's also one where if you get to a point where you're getting to the depths, but like the boss fights and all that, there's very few people that can truly stumble into a boss fight and win it first time. You've either got to be very lucky or just have played so many similar type games that you kind of already know ways that the developers are going to make the bosses tough, and ways that just past games have helped mitigate or deal with those kinds of challenges, tactics and that kind of stuff. So even if you're a pretty good rogue player, you can kind of quickly burn and need to step away and come back and try again, because you'll find, oh, hey, I've run through, and the games can vary, I'm sure, but in this one, I think the original game had 10 levels, and with expansions it may be up to 15 or so. But you get to a point where you can get through the early game content with some regularity, and so you're often making longer runs where you go deep and then you die and you have to start all over again. And so you're replaying similar content. And again, I don't know if this is a across the board or not, but I think a lot of them, I would imagine a lot of the good ones at least, incorporate random map generation to help keep it fresh, right? If you're going through the same maps with the exact same, layout and all that, and they're all very modular, right? They have various rooms, so you're seeing similar stuff, but it will be laid out differently. You don't know where everything is exactly, that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what I've started into on a different playlist in YouTube, and it's been a lot of fun. So far, knock on wood. I named it just like Minecraft. Kind of with the, instead of world, it's run 1, episode 1, and all that. But so far, we're still on the first run. Not to jinx it, and we'll see how far it goes. And at the moment, at least, I'm kind of feeling the pull, right? Every time I end, I'm like, oh, I want to keep going. I want to keep going, because it's been a while since I had first really played a lot of it, and it all feels pretty fresh to me again. If you've gone through a run and then you lose it and you have to start back again, that can slow you up a little bit. Maybe we'll get a trident in our. Got a gold bar. Take that. All right. Oh. All right. Where are you? Show yourself. I can't even see the tridents. Where are they? Okay, they're coming from this way. Give me your trident. Give me your trident. Oh! Oh! No, that's just flesh. Darn it. Hey. Look, guys. I wasn't really here for you. I don't want to cause trouble. A few of you, though. Alright. Enough fun. Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, good to get another shot, right? And very likely we'll need to set up some kind of an actual system to try to create trident opportunities with drowned, because they can be very, 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 very rare in Java Edition. Players of Bedrock may find it pretty easy to get them, and I've had pretty good luck. Really, it's not uncommon. I've had far worse luck with wither skulls. Actually, those have been more troublesome for me. That's where I end up with the hundreds of kills and not getting the 3 wither skills from the skeletons to summon the actual boss. Tridents, I know I've watched playthroughs where it's been killing loads of them, but in order to get a trident in Java Edition, the drowned itself has to carry one, and then it's and I don't know the exact, but it's less than like a 5% drop chance. I think it's less than 2, honestly. I mean, it's really low. So it's uncommon, and it's uncommon to find the drowned that actually throw tridents. So you gotta do double duty just to get the chance. And it's something to look out for. Well, if we were looking for a big ocean, I think we found it. Now, I would expect that maybe there's a more swamp. It's a little uncommon to just see a single swamp tree. We got some mountain. We got some dark oak. Looks like we got an underwater ravine coming up there. Some lava falling out of that mountain. We're over something that's kicking up kelp. I don't know that this is exactly the way we want to head for our desire, but we don't know that these are gonna come together. If they do, we'll just adjust. Oh, didn't really need to start loading up on lily pads. Yeah, see, this is just a point. More dark oak. Well, let's see if we can keep going this way. If that closes off, then it looks like we've got somewhere over to the left that we can explore. Or we can always, break the boat and just head overland again, too. The good thing about Minecraft is, if you haven't found it yet, just keep going. There are everything's out there in your game world, and it's available to you. You just gotta go find it. So maybe some grassy plain low lying over there. Hi, dolphin. Ooh, more flowery forest. We didn't bring our bone meal with us, but maybe that would have been a good choice. Swamp seems to connect our dark oak with these plains. And I was kind of upset, like, oh, I don't want to hit the lily pads. You gotta acclimate to. We've got shulker boxes now. We're not going to get overwhelmed with lily pads, even if we plow through. We can just start building stacks, and then if we decide to use them in our fields on that water, we can. We still have them, so yeah, we'll just plow through, and when we start to fill up, we'll open up a box and stick them in. Easy enough, right? Alright, I think we've reached the other end of this ocean. Come on. Who's got a step for me? You got a step for me. We want to head east. Birch forest. Maybe we pop up on top of these mountains and see what we can see. So, did everybody have a good Mother's Day? I hope so. All you moms out there, I hope you were suitably pampered and spoiled by your kids. Gravelly Mountain, that's something to remember. There's one probably more or less straight west of here on the edge of our own ocean, but we could certainly go through a lot of gravel, and it's good to try to remember. I mean, by the time we get to it, we'll have totally forgotten. But I say it meaning that it would be good if we could remember. Can I make the jump? Yeah. Alright. Every time. Real life, Minecraft, you climb up a mountain, it's like, oh, what's going to be up there? The false summits and things just kind of tease you. You're like, oh, I'm about to see. And what comes beyond? You got more ocean. That's not terrible, but I don't see anything that we particularly have to go in pursuit of. That didn't even make the little plunk noise. This looks like a good way to get down a ways. And then maybe switch. Boat back up. Hopefully this gets us out to that ocean. Sea, bay, lake, whatever it may be, we'll find out. As long as it's got more than a 1 block wide access point, you don't have to break the boat or break a block. All right, so ocean number 2 we're heading through. And, you know, rightly noting, if you are, that we're not doing exhaustive exploration. I'm kind of just trying to cut a straight line. I'd like to get out a ways and, kind of explore. It's always nice to have a little bit back closer to home that isn't just completely mapped out and known. You never know what when you'll be crossing a different way, and it's fun to get surprised by stuff. So we will head on. Sip of water here. Turtles. What's up, little turtles? Oh, you guys look happy. More taiga. I think we can find plenty of spruce wood out here in this world. It's heard my call and my praises of the spruce wood. Plains we can cross pretty quickly. Hear the dolphins. Hey, horsies. So, if you're looking for resources, if you haven't set up the farms and stuff the way we have, these are the great kind. When you get out a couple days worth of just overland travel and you're just moving fast, when you get out here, this is where you start just wholesale harvesting of anything you see. If you need sheep or something like that, just go for it. We got a nice little village over there, but again, I don't know much we're gonna come across in villages at this point that we need loot wise. We've talked about we'll need a raid, and we're actually pretty well set. We could do one of those. I kind of, unfortunately, our sand quarry is right between our neighboring village and our lodge and our home, and isn't a great place. I do like to have kind of force a village just by having some villagers around with jobs and kind of create it out away from an actual village and just do it where there's not a lot of cover, there's not holes where you can lose the villagers and that kind of stuff. Is a pretty good, it's still an open air battle and all that. You can have a couple golems running around to cheer them on and take out a number of the guys yourself too. You can do it however you want. If you don't want golems, by all means. But there is an advancement for hired help to create golems. So I might as well coordinate those. however you like to set them up. I do recommend that you do a full raid. If you're thinking about doing like a raid farm to get a lot of totems, which pretty limited. You can get a couple per. At some point, we'll try to go find a woodland mansion, and again, much more gunpowder needed, and that can get you totems too. So there are opportunities out there aplenty to. Wow, that's cool. Not the most realistic, but cool looking, especially with that lava that's going to keep falling down the side of the mountain. Oh, now, how did that one make the little thump noise, but not the jumping off the side of the mountain we did last time? Um, how much of a inferno are we about to head into with that spreading lava? How far will it go? Lots of trees catching. Again, here we don't have to worry about the forest fire element either. We can just kind of watch it burn. What was the Batman quote by Alfred? Some people just like to watch the world burn. All kinds of lava. Very tectonically active over in this area. Icelandic. Oh, that's cool. What a great set of mountains. We'll kind of go through the pass here. We don't need to climb up to the top of every mountain. But even through mountain passes, you kind of wonder, what am I going to see on the other side? IRL, it's also cool when over a mountain pass or through a big tunnel. What's the weather going to be like on the other side? Because a lot of times those peaks will divide up weather systems, so you can go from bright sun and warm temperatures on one side to rain or snow or ice on the other pretty easily, or vice versa. If you're stuck in the rain and snow, you go over to the other side of a big mountain range. The weather might have gotten hung up on it, and you might go and get into some beautiful weather. So that and the scenery, just seeing a whole landscape open up in front of you is pretty cool. Definitely something I enjoy, even when they're familiar. I really get a kick out of driving through mountain passes or hiking over a high mountain pass where there are no roads and you're just out there, but it's more of a shoulder. And a lot of the pronounced mountain passes, they've long had roads, because if unless it's just like between two small little mountain park areas, and a park in the mountains is typically a low-lying area between a number of peaks. Think of the show South Park. There's an actual South Park in Colorado, not a town specifically, but a region, kind of, for skiers and people that may have been out visiting or driven on I-70 through the kind of Summit County area of Colorado, where you're up amid all the big mountain peaks and the highway goes right through, and there's the Johnson Eisenhower Tunnel up on the eastern side, or under the Continental Divide, but going east to west. The ski areas and all that are on the west of it. The city of Denver eventually is on the east if you go down from there. But those lower pass areas are where the roads have always been, and then if they can improve by reducing the amount of climbing and turning you need to do by carving a tunnel or or whatever, they certainly do that kind of stuff. But yeah, parks. Parks exist in various sizes, and South Park, the area in Colorado, is actually miles and miles and miles. Lots of little towns scattered around in it. The one of the biggest of which is a town called Fairplay, and kind of being the biggest kid on the block in that area, at least. I think they kind of profit on the South Park fame. There's actually a town on the road that connects South Park to the town of Breckenridge, which is in Summit County and more familiar to the ski areas. That maybe has a little bit more of a claim to it, and actually has more of the feel of the show of South Park. Just tiny little scattered, just a couple of little buildings. That's pretty cool to drive through too. But yeah, so the parks, they're basically just large glacial areas where the mountain peaks, the landmass that got lifted up has been scoured away, and the by fate or chance or whatever, the peaks are the areas that were the most resistant, and everything that flowed off of them water-wise, wind plays a little bit of a role, but primarily it's water and ice erosion, because during ice ages and over millennia, glaciers coming down off of mountain peaks do a lot of that, and particularly when you're talking about like parkland areas, large shallow basins in between mountains. That's all work of glaciers scouring that out, so that the snows that fall on the peaks kind of compress and flow down. You can see it all happening in Alaska still. Those will move a lot of rock out of the way. So I really love the alpine type environment, and there's lots of parkland as it goes by in that sense in Colorado here. We're fortunate to have it, and that's that we're talking kind of prairie like. It's wide open, and you certainly have views of mountains around you when you're in those areas. It's not so large that you can't see horizon to horizon without, but there's certainly places where if you're beside a low hill or something in the midst of it, that you wouldn't necessarily see mountains around, and you can see deer and pronghorn antelope and all kinds of animals there, and they really become somewhat heavily used for ranching. I don't know how much they are at this point. Haha, I get to leave you in place, bee nest, because we've got all we need. Happy days to you, bees. I think I'm still heading more or less east, right? I totally lost track of how much I veered north or south as I've gone, but not to worry. Well, I don't know that I want to necessarily switch into boat mode. If we can just pop along here. Oh, didn't quite make that jump. I think the tree blocked me. Got a good sleeping opportunity. It's a mushroom, not lava. Jump. Stars, yeah. I'm just gonna keep going until the stars come out. There they come. Climb up this little hill a little bit. Right there. Sleep, sleep, sleep. So, who out there likes this style of adventuring IRL? Whether it's, and depending on your age, I get it, right? It varies on your ability to do so, but whether it's jumping in a car and picking a general direction and just kind of going to see what's out there without a real firm plan on where you're going to stop or get to on a certain, day, or whether it's on a bike and you're just in the afternoon, you're like, hey, I've never really gone out this way. Let's just see, where all the neighborhood roads wind, all that kind of stuff. Anybody else enjoy that kind of IRL? Just hey, just go see what's out there type adventuring. Now, how do we want to? I mean, the easy path is right past, but I don't know where it's going to get us to. We've still got to deal with the mountains. This kind of feels like the sort of dark forest that a woodland mansion would be in, honestly. Some mountains scattered up. You got a barbarian, a pillager outpost. Endless? Not quite. I don't know if this is going to drop back down or not, but it'd be nice if we could just get right over to the mountain. I think we got a river, though. Of course we do. Just kind of hang out on this ridge. You go up treetops. Ooh. George, oh, the jungle. I tried to intentionally sing that incorrectly because, oh, I didn't want the DMCA to come after me. I don't know if George of the Jungle is aggressively copyright protected, but we're certainly not going to steal it. Alright, this didn't work out exactly as we'd hoped. We're now going west. Not at all the way we want to go. Oh, this has got some potential. Oh, come on. Up. Well, that's a lot more mountains. Must feel nice and cool after being down in those swamps and that heavy woods. Ooh, look at that. Weapon up if you're heading into these dark areas under mountains, because you can see they get stuck and they will get heavily monstered. Not at all like that. If you linger, they will get heavily monstered, or they can already be heavily populated just because it's dark and there's not a lot of places for mobs to spawn. So they can end up with big concentrations of creepers and zombies and skellies and everybody else hanging out, having a little convention. Well, it sure is beautiful. Like the countryside. I'm wondering if this is going to get too peaky for us to move through quickly, but hope for the best. We can kind of adapted pretty well as we've gone along. Yeah, that was kind of what I was worried about. How about over here? Now, as long as we're here, stick to the high ground. That's a lot of mountains. Try to get our peak. Just imagine here when the new overworld expansions come and the build cap is raised and the some more giant tree. That's cool. Look at that weird kind of like mushroom shaped mountain. That's cool. Looks more like the deserty American Southwest. So I don't see ocean or oof, much of anything that's exactly what we were trying to come upon, but got a few nice little options here. Thought we got a splat there. Oh, that is oh, that's a bummer. I mean, it's cool, but it's cooler when it's connected, not just floating anti-gravity style. Hey, llama. At some point, we need to breed some llamas, but I think we had some back near our spawn in those mountains, and I mean, if there's anywhere you're gonna breed llamas, it seemed to be it. Ooh. As I was saying, I was looking at videos after I'd played a little Dungeons of Dreadmore, and I'm just much more randomly than I normally do, just kind of searching. I'd pulled up Dungeons of Dreadmore, and I looked at some of the whatever the YouTube results were, and some of the which obviously is going to default towards the most viewed, and so some of the streamers you may have heard of along the way, right? With hey, these videos have 40,000 views in them, and they're 7 years old, that kind of stuff. But you start, like, okay, well, this person obviously is recorded within the last year or so, and then you go to their channel and start digging around, maybe look at comments, see who else has been watching, who's reacted favorably, see if they have any content, that kind of, just kind of, it's a virtual form of networking, not in the data sense and not in the people sense where you're like dropping off business cards and stuff, but you're just kind of connecting names and entities to an interest in that particular game. And where Minecraft, that's kind of overwhelming, right? There's so much content out there, and there's so many people that are always forming it and consuming it and all that with Dreadmore, you kind of have to poke around a little bit. I don't think there's as many people. Certainly, I know there's not as many people playing it, but I don't know. I think that there's a whole lot that are even actively playing it, that are out there looking for or aware that there's content, and so you can just kind of go in and look at who's gotten comments on recent videos, if there are some, or if some of those people that had been playing it have switched to other games. What are they playing now? What do they? Someone that I saw, I don't, the name escapes me. I'm not trying to like name, do anything like that. I just, okay, this guy had been, I assume, oh, it was a guy. This guy's been creating videos, and it looks like he stopped, a while ago, but he's got other active playlists going, and One of those was, listed as a roguelike, and it was a little different. I don't know that I would have gotten down, particularly with that game. A little more text-based, and again, to be fair, I gave it about, 10, 15 minutes worth of view in it was probably like an hour-long playthrough or something of just getting started. But it was a lot of text, not as viewer-friendly, I think, as Dreadmore is. Where Dreadmore, you're kind of graphically going and fighting a lot of monsters. And this game may develop into that. I don't know. Like I said, I didn't give it the chance it probably deserved, but I wasn't, that wasn't exactly what I was looking for. I wasn't out there going, okay, what new content can I find? I was more interested in the old stuff, but seeing what they were actively doing. But as I'm kind of, getting deeper and deeper, farther away from my original search, backing up in the browser and then, looking down somebody else's kind of path of viewers and commenters and all that. At some point, one of the recommended things was Farlands or Bust run through. And I don't know if that was the original. Back in the day, there used to be a guy whose whole content was just, he played Minecraft, but he was just basically doing this. And I don't think this is what triggered the idea for me. I really want to find this biome we're looking for. But for him, and this was years ago that I even heard about it, so, he may have long since gotten there or stopped or whatever, and then been replaced by others who kind of liked the idea. But his whole deal was, I don't want to be a builder. I don't want to, I don't want to do any of that kind of stuff. I got a bed. I got a boat. I got some tools and all that kind of stuff. I'm just gonna go without any, teleport commands or anything like that. I'm just gonna go to the Farlands, from spawn, get some tools. And I don't honestly, I don't even know if it was, vanilla or creative or anything. Creative would be a little silly because he'd be flying, I would imagine. But this was some kind of, at least survival. But I don't know what the difficulty, if it was in easy where the mobs weren't even, or peaceful mode. Is that what it is? Uh-oh. It's not me. We're just catching up a little bit. I hope we didn't reach a limit. And by limit, I mean that, the game file size is exceeding the limits. It was, again, I can't control everything that's running on the PC. There's, I've actually got a couple Dreadmore videos that are loading to be scheduled, and I'd said in the content there that I just want to have, kind of one a day pop. I'm not Minecraft. If I play a few episodes, we made today here as we're running. Well, how far into this are we? Just over an hour. So well, that's why Microsoft was deciding I needed to get more signed in or something. I don't know. So it must have been running a check in the background. It is a little, I think we're still pretty darn resilient when it comes to this laptop and running. I don't think OBS is running that heavy. As long as I watch the number of already recorded videos on the hard drive and don't fill it up again, we're doing okay. But these are the ways that you make your world file quite a bit bigger too. It won't load all these into memory and RAM while you're playing, but the world save file itself gets quite a bit bigger when you've gone for long adventures, because now it's got to keep track of what biomes in what chunks that it already created. Oh, it's a good thing we have feather falling on, right? Which way do we want to jump off now? Oh. Again, feather falling is nice. We're not Not taking any damage through all those. It's just big steps. Keep a bend in your knees as you land, so you don't bonk your chin on your knees. Yeah, so 12,000 is our X. So we're moving pretty good. You know, again, not crazy. You can go a lot further. The Farlands guy, you know, at least the original. I think you know, the actual. Oh, hang on a second. The actual Minecraft world dimensions are like 4 million square or something like that. So that's a big old map. And so you know you got some. Considering we have 10K or so blocks under our feet, that's not a lot of percent of the total. But I've often kind of wondered how interesting is that content after a while. You know, you gotten to a point where you've seen all the biomes. There's just not that many surprises left for you. And I don't want to be loaded up with a bunch of. Oh, there must be foxes around taking out the chickens. But yeah, you know, I love a walk in the country or nature, or whatever the setting is. Probably more than most people. But I think, you know, even in Minecraft that would get pretty tiring after a while to just still going east. I've got a secret weapon for this, and at some point here we're gonna take like a 30-second pause while I go answer this recently developing yawning condition. But this is kind of the fun of just wandering, is not knowing what's coming next. Oh, you know, well, we're that close. You know, something's gonna be coming up right here. Now, almost invariably, when you've gone this far, it's like, well, you know, there's one of this biome out somewhere. We've just missed it. Do we really want to, you know, set up something this far away when we could just go in an opposite direction? But we're committed now. I'm going. I should have set some kind of a parameter though, like, you know, if we go this far and it's not, then we go north or south, you know, 500 blocks, and then we turn back, and maybe that's 20. We're at 12. Maybe 20 is a good distance for that. Another town over there. Town, village. Wow, that's a lot of chickens. What's up, guys? Usually there's like 6 together, tops, when you find them out here in the wild. You guys go away. Those people will never know what I did for them, clearing their floating grass above the area pond. A lava pit. Oh, come on, laptop. what it's doing. It like kind of just repops. Let's do this. I'm going to just step away for like 10 seconds. I'll be right back. All right, thanks for your patience. I have some rerun coffee here. Hang on a second. Rerun is the coffee I make if I ever make it after lunchtime, where the grounds I use to make my pretty almost daily morning coffee. I was wrong. East. All right, just want to make sure I haven't gotten turned there. Yeah, so I've said before, for me, I live in an apartment. Have instead of dedicating counter space to a full pot coffee maker, I have a little cup top. It looks like a little funnel, and it's just a little drip brew thing where you put one of the paper coffee filters into it, fill it with grounds, and then you just heat up a kettle of water and pour the boiling water into the grounds, and it just drains into the cup. Very low complexity. Works like a champ, and no complaints from me. So if as you go, you're further and further leaching the coffee grounds of their coffeeness. So between not wanting to be up all night and already having them there, I've found it's pretty good. If you ever decide you want another cup, to just kind of keep those grounds in the thing, and it's a few hours later. I don't think that they go bad. It's not as the same full flavor as the morning cup of coffee, but it gets the job done. It's warm. It tastes like coffee, and hopefully it'll keep these yawns at bay. So that's it's a little view behind the curtain. How I roll. Some of you guys are probably there's probably a few in that between age kind of. For me, it hit in somewhere in high school and runs through college and about 5-10 years after. And it's like what do you think? Should we brew a 10 o'clock pot of coffee and just sip it down? And for me, these days, the answer is no. No, we should not, unless I'm planning to stay up all night long. But I've certainly done in the past. I mean, that used to be the kind of high school hangout deal in the Midwest, because again, I'm from the upper Midwest, and the winters are fairly savage. And I don't know, when I came out to Colorado, we had Perkins out here. I don't know if that's still a thing back in the Midwest or not, but when I was in high school, that was the deal. There were two places that you would go to hang out. One was Perkins, and one was the bowling alley, and both were fairly low cost, right? That you could go, bowl a game and linger on it because, and I think I think most bowling alleys still do this. You can either get a lane for X amount of time and play as much as you want, or you can play games. And if you get a bowling lane and you play, pay to play a game, and you've got 5 people or whatever, and you say, all right, we're going to bowl a game. the lanes will keep track of how many times you've thrown and going from there, and then they just kind of pop the pop the ball returner type thing when you're done. They can keep you from going. I think most actually go by the time. They'd prefer to have you tempted to play on and keep going. But I think we had a deal or something where you could, or we just didn't understand their system and never caught on. But we would always just, buy a game of bowling and then not throw much. We'd hang out. We get at the bowling alley. You get like a pitcher of soda, and just every once in a while somebody would take a shot. Or their two turns. But between all of them, you're just hanging out and chatting and stuff. If you had a bigger group, couple lanes, and it's just a warm place where as teens you can go and spend some time hanging out. And Perkins was another one of those where, once people had jobs and stuff, were busy. If you had been out, either, I did a lot of sports in high school. I had youth groups and stuff like that did various things, or just hanging out with friends. If you'd been on a double date or something like that after, or even as a part of it. But I mean, who goes to Perkins on a date, right? But like after, if you'd been to a movie or something like that, hey, should we go grab a cup of coffee and just hang out? Those times when you weren't tired, you're a kid, you're not tired. We don't want to go home. Let's just go hang out. And you kind of get that refillable cup of coffee. They'd come around with the pitchers and give you dirty looks for still being there. And, maybe somebody at the table got a muffin. Well, we were in high school, so I'm sure, there were pieces of pie and all that kind of stuff more often than not. But, when you had money, if you were a little strapped, you could get by on a cup of coffee and just hang out and chat. And as long as you weren't being a nuisance, and ultimately that comes down to, as long as you're not chasing away the other customers, you're good. And for me in high school, there was still smoking in restaurants, which, yuck. But that kind of went away when I was in college, at least here in Colorado. I don't know how much it lingered, but their solution for us at the local Perkins was, oh, here come the high school kids, put them in the smoking section. Because even then, not most people had figured out, like, dude, that's gross. I'm trying to eat. I don't want to, smell and by association taste an ashtray while I'm trying to have my dinner. And it was obviously a little later than dinner time, but there'd be people that would be coming in after work or whatever. There was, so all the regular customers would kind of be in the nice bigger dining room, and then the smaller sectioned off area that was a smoking, they'd just be like, all right, you guys go back here. Anybody is absolutely looking to smoke, they can deal with you guys, and you guys can be as loud as you want. We don't particularly care about either customer group, so have at it. And it seemed to work out. As kids, we didn't care that much. We were just happy to be out of the house, feeling like adults and alive and all that kind of stuff. And it was great. But yeah, it's how you learn to live on coffee, and that's a lesson that's well served when you're into college, and writing that paper that you put off until the night before it was due, and all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's how many pages? 10? Okay, well, I can get that done. I've done it before, but go ahead and make a pot of coffee. Time to go. So yeah, I'm sure there are people watching that just do that even for a night of gaming. They're like, oh, well, I'm gonna be up, time to drink some coffee, and whenever I get tired, I'll just go to sleep. That will change. Look forward to it at some point. You'll be like, oh yeah, I'm tired, I'm still going to go to sleep, and then you'll wake up like 25 minutes later, and now I'm wide awake again. Great. That's perfect. So that's why I do the rerun coffee instead of fresh real coffee. Well, this is not entirely panning out, and I'm kind of wondering as we go. Oh, I should look at the 15. So we still got 5,000 more. I'm thinking this is going to be a 2-episoder, right? We'll probably be about 20 by about the time it's set to end, and then we'll maybe turn right. And I haven't been particularly looking. We're at 36. What's home? We've still got this little cheat sheet here. 13. So we're already like 2,000 south of where we're at, I believe. I wasn't really paying attention to where yeah, we're about even with the Illager or the Igloo Villager outpost, which is at 3317 south. So we could go straight back this way and eventually catch up with that. But maybe we'll turn right and then kind of work our way back to about that. And pick up our boat, or just cut back across that sea. We got a couple other seas between us. Loads of other stuff too, I'm sure. And I can almost predict what will happen here. We will go and go and go and go and go. We'll probably, get to, I don't need that up. We can get to that kind of 20,000 block limit that we've talked about. Turn, go another few hundred blocks south. When we're at the absolute extreme, that's where we'll finally find this biome, and then we'll kind of clear out an area, get a spot where we can set up portals, do all that, and then as we return back, when we're just about all the way home is when we'll see another one that's way closer. So that's how it usually goes. Now I'm already subconsciously getting... Okay, yeah, I thought I was veering south. Like, don't turn yet. We got 5,000 more blocks. But since we got that far, let's run. High dive. Cannonball. Nobody saw the splash except for that. That was quicker. Right, other sip. You guys are going to love it on the trip home when I'm extra caffeinated. Great. Again, this is pretty weak. It's made 2 cups in the morning, and usually that's it. Usually I don't come back for more, but kind of a weird staggered time. I had some stuff I was out doing today, and got back a little early, and it's rainy and kind of nasty out, so it felt it felt a little cool. Normally that'd be about a time I would go for like a little longer hike walk type thing, more exercisey type stuff, but not real pleasant. It's been off and on raining, and it was just starting back up again pretty good when I got back from running some errands, and so I came back inside and thought, warm drink would be all right on a cool spring day. It's I think got up to around 45. Supposed to be a little cooler tomorrow with some overnight rain, snow stuff. So beauteous. All right. Is it mountains all the way across, or are we kind of sticking in the middle? Hey, Annie mules. It's another of the fun things of moving fast. You kind of see, like, the catch the game a little bit off guard when it just plunks a bunch of animals and they haven't had time to naturally spread out into the area. Kind of funny. Maybe a chance to run a little bit more. Looks pretty open. Lots of land, though. On the is it land or is it ocean question, I think we've got a lot more land in this one. Even though we crossed a pretty big ocean getting here. But it's been a while since we've seen any open water now. Well, I wonder what folks are kind of currently watching, whether it's streaming or on TV or movies, that kind of stuff. I've shared a few, but pretty recently I watched Jupiter, what is it, Legacy? Jupiter's Legacy, something like that. Another in the long line of superhero type genre. Series or shows or movies, whatever. Pretty. Oh, there's one of those snowdrops. All right. Gotta watch out for those. Even then, you got a decent chance of dropping into one here and there. We can keep an eye out for igloos. Although, honestly, healing those villagers is... Oh, hey, speak of the devil. Healing villagers all the way out here is a little bit of a waste. May actually be better to bring the weakness back, although we can... What do you think? We can't even get down there. Heal in place or bring back the... Again, we can make the weakness, right? It would be inhuman to leave a zombify. Why don't we do this just like we're come on. Apple. I got the weakness too. So that's the grenade effect of the splash potions. We talked about it a little bit. They will go area of effect, and we talked about it. The weakness doesn't really do anything, noteworthy for the zombies or us. It weakens all of us. We'll do less damage, but it's the health potions that make the kind of area where you can throw it into a group of zombies or whatever undead type monsters they are, and they'll all suffer a hit from it. Anyway, before we got distracted by this igloo and a little break, how far over did we get, by the way? 16. Man, we got a little ways to go. Come on, dude. Hurry up. How about you just recover? We'll trust you're going to get better. If we stumble our way back here at some point, you'll probably get better while we're here. Alright, east was this way? Yep. Another. Oh, that's probably a village. Get a little slide on the ice. Did we, it's still midday. I was gonna say, did we stay up late enough in the frozen tundra to get the tundra modified mobs? I don't know that we did. I think we were still pretty weak when we spent any time there and would have been quick to sleep. So that may be something to do. We had commented on how few of the mobs we'd actually killed. But now we're out. Now we're out of it. And that was why I checked the sun. If it was midday as it was, I didn't want to wait around all day. We got igloo villagers of our own back at home, or close to home, that we can. All right, new chance for a boat. Take me to the cool biome. It's icy. It's a tree. Clearly, this is not pulling me back to that. Southern direction that we were hoping for, but as we were walking through all those forests, I kind of wondered if this biome, like the Mushroom Island, it mainly is surrounded by water. I think a lot of times it is. It doesn't have to be, but I don't know that just regular forest often cozies up to it, and I don't know if there's any rhyme or reason or rules to that kind of creation, but things to wonder about. Okay, so we got the frozen that way. Let's stick to this edge then. Let me see those kelp. Get to turning. That's gonna be a rocky road for your boat. And more opportunity here. We could carve into the middle of those for any blue ice that they have. It's the third tier of ice. It takes a lot of pieces of regular ice if you're trying to compact it. I keep just turning a bit to see it. If this is narrow, if there's anything over on the other side, at least you can sometimes kind of see between the icebergs. It's out on the edge. Ooh. They're very pokey. Pokey looking icebergs. Kind of cool. You know what this does? The maze of the ice. It's very forgiving. Island, anything beyond it? We'll camp on this island and just see. That's an apple, not a bed. Well, might be a broken portal, but we're doing all right. I think this might be part of the looking. Sometimes your arms get out of sync as you're rowing. I mean, a little bit of it is turning, right? But like we can turn like that, and it's no problem. It's just sometimes it just decides that you're gonna alternate, which wouldn't be a very efficient way of running a rowboat. And of course, this is a this is a horribly inefficient way of running a rowboat because usually you're going to face opposite the way that you're going. You know, and that would be a kind of a cool thing if you could go faster backwards. I think I've shown in this, maybe not, but when you have to bring animals across the water with leads, I find you're much less likely to break the leads if you actually go backwards in the boat. So like this, and then you S, and it's slow, right? You can keep going, but it won't. If you go full speed in a boat forward, you'll snap leads, and when you're trying to get cows back across or whatever, that's kind of counterproductive. So we only got about 1,000 blocks left. But it would almost seem like you should get a speed boost if you were doing what you're actually supposed to do, which is, sit facing backwards in a rowboat and then rowing. This is exactly the opposite of what you want to be doing. And you could, I guess, make an argument it's a double paddled canoe, but I don't think those really work very well. So islands or points of land? The fact that there's sea cucumbers all the way through and now coral up there makes me a little confident. What is that little blob? Sugar cane on a sandbar or something? Yep. Looked weird. Oh, how beautiful. Just chill, game. You're alright. And yeah, I'm willingly kind of veering at this point. We're so close. I think we'll kind of veer to the down to about 4,000 and then start our return back. We'll check the time of here too, but we're within 500 blocks. I don't know that we need to dive into the midst of a dark forest just for the sake of some numbers. You know, we know what the biome is, right? It's not going to change in 100 blocks, so kind of aim for that ridge. Try to poke up around it. Maybe aim for this side of the ridge. Oh, we're going down. All right. Got my boat. Back to the sea. Got some underwater structures over here. Let's see how. Might as well go the full length, and maybe somebody will throw a trident at us and make us slow down. All right. Well, yeah, this is very loose, but kind of head out to this point, if it is, or follow the shoreline till it starts swinging back away from the direction we want to go in, which is now west. And let's, since we're at the far point, once we get up to whatever the end of land is, if in fact there is, we'll maybe wrap this one up and then break into a return trip. Oh, of course, it's just going to keep teasing. That's all right. We're at about an hour 45, and I think we'll get a. Oh, maybe this is it right here, because it looks like the sea kind of winds back there. So we'll just come up to this point of land on this birch island and wrap up there, and then have a westward journey. Westward ho! Yeah, I think that'll work. Alright, let's climb up on land here. Well, this was very chill. Didn't accomplish a whole lot, but man, we saw a lot of terrain. Let's get that out of the way, and let's get thank yous back up. Lots to say. Oh, what was the... If not, okay, then return. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. The end was pretty good to us. We're okay with that. But yeah, like I said, not our greatest in terms of accomplishment stream, but we went a really long way. We saw a big old swath of the world. It moved pretty quickly while we did it. We gathered some lily pads. That was exciting. And yeah, it was wild. So we'll have more in store as we head back on the next one. Maybe we'll bust out the old wings, see how they do, how far we can get. But for now, thank you so much for joining in. I hope you enjoyed the ride. Try to replicate the game in real life. Go outside and see what's out and around. Maybe go for a little walk. If it's cold and rainy, maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, definitely enjoy some breaks in between all the video content. Make sure you're taking care of yourself, getting some exercise, some good fluids and foods and all that kind of stuff, and take care of the real life people that are around you that are taking care of you. Anyway, you guys are awesome. Thanks for hanging out. Leave a like or a comment if you're so inclined, and we'll see you next time.